Welcome back to another week of 52 Weeks of Gaming. This week I decided I needed to play this game that I saw online as this cool little, I want to say indie game, this cool smaller game that is basically an idea of running a coffee shop. And I was like, that sounds kind of interesting for not really being a simulator, and so that's why I went and played Coffee Talk this week. Coffee Talk is a game that was made by Togi Productions, who I've blanking on what they've made before, but I know I've played their games and seen their name before. And it's a game that came out pretty much on every system that exists: Steam, Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox, even some of the online ones like itch.io and GOG. You have all these different platforms, to go and play it, and it came out beginning of 2020, and it's something, as I said, that I saw a bit of just overall. You run a coffee shop, but it's not just a coffee shop because it's in Seattle, but an alternate Seattle where inhabitants are more than just humans. I mean, you have a love story that goes on, and a relationship that you deal with that's between an elf and a succubus. You have a werewolf and a vampire, you have orcs, you have aliens, you have all these different things in it. And so it's a bit out of the norm, but the thing that makes Coffee Talk so cool, even for how short of a game it is, because it's really not that long to go and complete, only a few hours, and it's pretty simple to go and do outside of, having to memorize a bunch of different coffee orders because you're really a barista. And it's very story focused. I mean, the only main part that you really kind of get involved in as the character is making the coffee and kind of making it unique and to each person, and possibly doing latte art because that's a big thing that you need to go and do as a barista. But it's this whole story about these lives in this alternate Seattle, and just kind of 2 weeks, I think it's over a month actually, of time, and just events that are going on, and normal typical events that you would go and think like these are human events, these are normal things, about a relationship where the family's one person, the elf, comes from they're basically high elves, I would want to go and call them, that he's in a relationship with a succubus, and so he would be giving up his immortality to be in this relationship with her, and obviously his family's kind of against that because they're elves and they're better than all of that, and she doesn't want to go and have him leave all of that just for her. And it's very human on that aspect, and it's all grounded together, and I think it's a relevant game for what is going on now and is what has always been going on because of the topics that are in it. Although it's different races in it and different I want to say beliefs, with having all these different things like elves, succubi, werewolves, vampires, and all things like that. You have the other main quote character of Freya, who is human and is a writer, and her whole thing is trying to go and write a story. And there's one day that there's a conversation that really stuck with me, where she's talking about writing the story in an alternate world where it's only humans. So obviously that would be like the real world for us, but not the video game. And she's saying about, she wonders if things would go and be differently, and the character that she's talking to at the time at the coffee shop is saying that, like, you think because it's only humans that it's going to go and really be different than the fights that are going on now, that there's going to be discrimination over different things, even though it's just humans, about skin color and gender and orientation and beliefs and all of these things. They're like, you think that's going to be really any different if you make it into just humans as opposed to humans and what would technically for us in the real world be considered mythological creatures like the elves and succubi and werewolves and vampires. I was just like, wow, these are real topics that are being discussed, and I thought Coffee Talk did a great job for how tiny and small of a game it is to really throw you into it and make you feel as though you're in this world, and it makes you see all of the issues that are going on, and being like, wow, these are really uniquely portrayed in this mystical setting, but still really grounded in the sense of you could replace all the characters with humans and it would still go and make sense. There wasn't something that I was like, oh, well, this is completely out of left field, except maybe the one werewolf day. That could be a bit of a difficult thing to go and show, but just it's something that I want to give full credit to the producers and the developers for coming up with this, because it's something that I went into it not sure what to go and expect outside of hearing just online and reading an article about this really cool game where you're a barista, but I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I did when I went and played it for the short period of time that I played it. And this is going to be one of those games that just sticks with me because of the topics that are in it and the things that are talked about, and it's something that everyone should be playing because of what is talked about, because of what's in it, and because of how short of an overall game it is. It's a small morsel to go and enjoy and have fun with and see and be a barista and just focus on that and just enjoy the game and enjoy this world that I feel like is just kind of possibly getting started, but also could be one-off. I leave it up to them. I don't know. It's just, it made me feel a bunch of different things that I didn't think a game would actually go and make me go and feel and think about, although that is kind of the job of some games, and this does just that. So bravo to the developers, because they hit the nail on the head with everything.